Presentation of Dialogue on Idaho Public Television is made possible through the generous support of the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore family's legacy of building the great state of Idaho.
I was determined to right the wrongs of these generations and tear down barriers for girls and women. I had a dream for an education.
From a mud-thatched hut to Manhattan, it was education that changed the blueprint of Tara Trent's life. Now she's transforming others. A conversation with Dr. Tara Trent next on Dialogue. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Dialogue. I'm Marcia Franklin. Have you ever wanted something so badly that you just would not give up until you got it? Tara Trent did. It wasn't wealth or a material item. What she wanted more than anything else was an education. But married off as a girl in her native Zimbabwe and with 3 children by the age of 18, going to school was a far-off dream. With a force of will and help from others, though, it's a dream that Tara Trent, now Dr. Trent, made happen. Her inspiring journey was included in Half the Sky, the best-selling book by Nicholas Kristof and Sheryl WuDunn. And Oprah Winfrey has become part of Dr. Trent's story as well. Calling Tara her all-time favorite guest, the talk show host donated $1.5 million to Trent's foundation to help children in her Zimbabwean village get a better start than she had. Dr. Trent was in Boise to address the Idaho Women's Charitable Foundation and joins me now. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here. Happy to have you here. And we should say that right off the top, that clip is from you addressing a opening session of a United Nations conference.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned Manhattan. What an incredible journey.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was.
So take me and our viewers back to your childhood, how you grew up in Zimbabwe. What are your earliest memories? What was it like for you?
You know, I grew up, the country was then known as Rhodesia. It was during the colonial era under the British rule. And I remember my childhood, we grew up in the rural areas where there was no electricity, no running water, and even up to now we don't have those things. And as I was growing up, what struck me most was the fact that more boys and men were able to read and write, and they were the ones going to school, and women became the mothers who stay at home. And so I grew up herding cattle and taking care of my siblings. And I think one of the things that really struck me at that age was to see my Aunt Chida having her letter that she had received from her husband being read by someone else. And I used to accompany her. And that stayed with me, and I said, that's not going to happen.
Because when that letter was read out loud by someone else,
yeah,
then...
So my aunt always wanted someone to read the letter. She preferred 3 people to make sure that what's being said is right. So we went down the river, we found someone they read, and my aunt said, no, we need to find someone else. And then we headed north, we found someone who read the letter. My aunt still didn't believe that. And then we found this young man, and she read the letter to her. But guess what? By the time we went back home, everybody in the village knew the contents of that letter, the most intimate details of someone's life, and I couldn't live with it.
So even as a girl, even as a child,
yeah.
You thought, I don't want this to happen to me.
No,
but there were no options for you, right? I mean, the boys were going to school, your brother was going to school.
Yeah.
But you couldn't go.
Yeah, there were no options for me, but I had a very strong mother. My mother would always say, no matter these challenges that are in front of you, if you desire something so badly, it's within your heart. You will be able to help us. Look at the women in our family. Think about your grandmother. Think about your grandmother. Think about me. We never had an opportunity to go to school. And can you be the one to break this cycle, this deep cycle that runs in our family, and break the poverty so that you become the one to read and write and help all of us?
but you still were not going to school. Your brother
Yeah.
was, but you were kind of taking a look at his books, weren't you?
Yes, so my brother would, I remember one day my brother brought this book and he called it the geography book. And he showed me the book and I saw the pictures and I saw the words. And I wanted to know what the words were saying to these pictures. And I said to my brother, can you tell me what's happening? My brother says, oh, you may probably need more time for me to teach you how to read. And I said, please teach me how to read. So that was the beginning of my quest for an education, seeing those pictures and those words and not knowing what they meant. I wanted so desperately to put the two together. And I started learning how to read and write.
And you started doing his homework, didn't
Yes.
you?
Oh yeah. So it's so interesting because my brother loved hunting more than anything else. So he would have his dog and he would go hunting, and then he would say, "I just wish if it were you going to school, because probably you're more smarter than I am." So he would bring his and I said, well, can you teach me how to read and write? So he taught me how to read and write, and before long I was doing his homework. He took his homework to school. The teacher says, is that a 3 or an S? Why is it your letters somehow they don't read well? And he says, well, you know, we come from this heart and the floors are not even, and probably that's the reason why my writing is not that good. But later on, the teacher discovered that it was me doing his homework, and he became the first advocate for my own education.
He wanted you to go to school.
He wanted me to go to school.
And you went for a short time, but your dad
Yeah,
said
I went
no
for
more.
a short time, and I ended up dropping out of school because I got married. But you know what? As you know that when I met Jolak, that was now after independence, she inspired me.
So let's talk about that. You were married as a girl, as I mentioned in my introduction, and had 3 children. Actually, you had 4, but one passed because
Yeah.
of poverty.
Yeah.
And then when you were we don't know your exact age because that wasn't written down, but maybe when you were about 20 or 21,
Yeah.
after independence, Heifer International,
Yeah.
an NGO, came
Yeah.
to your town, and
Yeah.
a woman named Jo
Yeah.
Luck, what a name.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful name.
Jo
She
Luck.
came and spoke with you and some other women in your village, and she inspired you with just a few words.
Yeah, it is achievable.
It is achievable.
Yes, if you desire your dreams, it is achievable.
And your dreams, you told her, were what?
You know, I said Zimbabwe had just gained its independence, and so we had many of these people coming into the communities, and they were talking about these degrees, an undergraduate, a master's, a PhD. And what struck me most was when they would always be wearing these spectacles and have their papers and looking. And I thought wearing spectacles was a sign of education. And I wanted that, whatever they have. So when Jolak said, what are your dreams? I said, I want to have an undergraduate.
I want to wear spectacles.
I know I didn't say that. I want to have a master's and a PhD. And then I said, I also want to go to America. Yeah.
So
And,
these things just came up inside of you. You found the words to say all these dreams, you know,
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
other women around you weren't expressing those same.
No, they were not
dreams.
expecting that. And also, I remember they were looking at me and saying, oh, come on, Tererai, you have 3 children and an abusive husband. How is that going to happen? You don't even have a high school diploma. How is that going to happen? But because this woman, Jolak, the way she spoke to me, she said, I work in many, many countries. Our organization, it has impacted so many women, just like you. If you really desire, it is achievable. And I took that and I said, I'm going to have my education. So what I did was to run to my mother. And I said, Mother, I met this woman. She really made me believe in my dreams. My mother said, write those dreams down and bury them.
Because there's a tradition in your
Because
culture.
there's a tradition in my culture. When a child is born, usually they snip the umbilical cord, which is the birth cord, and they wrap that umbilical cord in the mother's dress and bury it near the heart where the child was born, with the belief that when this child grows, whatever happens to the child, wherever they go, the umbilical cord will always call them back to their birthplace. So my mother realized earlier on that I needed some faith in me. I needed something to believe in. Here I was with no GED, 3 children in a row, living in an abusive relationship. I needed faith. So she said, just the same way we bury the umbilical cord, Tererai, write down your dreams and bury them under the rock. Wherever you go, whatever happens in your life, your dreams will always call you back and remind you of the importance of their achievement. And that was the reason I buried my dreams.
So the dreams that you buried were the ones that you said to Joe Luck.
Yeah.
I want an undergraduate.
Yes.
I want a master's.
Yes. I want a PhD.
Want a PhD.
Initially, I had 4. I want to go to America, undergraduate, get my master's and my PhD. And I was ready to go and bury my dreams the way my mother had instructed me. And then my mother said, I remember I was holding a small hoe. I don't know if you know that, I was ready to go and dig. And my mother said, she said something so profound. Your dreams will have greater meaning if they are connected to your community. It's not about accumulating these degrees, but it's about what you do with the education.
Your mom is wise.
Now she was. So I ended up writing my 5th dream. I want to come back and improve the lives of women and girls in my community. I had no idea what that is, but I wrote that 5th dream. And it took me almost 10 years to go through my GED so that I could be accepted at a university. And when I passed my GED, then I applied for an undergraduate program at Oklahoma State University.
Now, why Oklahoma? All the way
that's
from...
a long story.
Okay. But did Heifer International then help you get to the U.S., or you did that on your own?
Their country office just helped me to make the applications. But because by then I was working and I was saving, every penny that I had, I would save that. And Zimbabwe was coming out of the British pound, so our dollar was actually more powerful than the American dollar. So that made it much more easier for me to apply. And I applied and I got accepted at Oklahoma State University, came to the United States and achieved my undergraduate and my master's.
You make that sound easy, but it wasn't. You had by then 5
yes,
children?
I had 5. I had brought with me 5 children.
As you
One
mentioned.
remained in Zimbabwe. And when I, so now I have all these children with me. It was tough because we were staying in a very small apartment and we didn't have enough food. I think it took me about 3 months to start realizing the kids, when they were brushing their teeth, their gums would bleed. And I realized they were lacking fruits and vegetables. Back home, we have plenty of fruits and vegetables because women, we wake up early in the morning and we go to the gardens and we produce our vegetables. So the university, through Dr. Ron Beer, who was the vice president, made this arrangement with me to go to Walmart. And we talked to the manager to say if it's possible for me to get those leftover fruits and vegetables. So the manager says, as much as I would like to do that, but we don't do those kinds of things. We are afraid if you eat these vegetables, if anything happens to you, then you may end up suing us. And I looked at this man and I said, I have no dime to sue nobody. If I can just have the vegetables and fruits, I will feed my children.
Another example of where a person, an individual, this man at the university,
Yes.
stepped up to help and
Yeah.
made a big difference.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you had an abusive husband. That was also in addition to having the children, going
Yeah.
to school, working jobs
Yeah.
at the same
Oh my
time.
goodness! I used to have 3 jobs. During the week, I had 2 jobs, and mostly in the restaurants, And then during the weekend, then I would do home groups where I'm looking after people with challenges. It was tough, but I knew that I was here for a purpose, to break the cycle in my own family. I didn't want my own girls to go through what I had gone through. I realized if I get this education, then I become a role model, maybe, to my own children, so they can also have an education. And I won't have my girls getting married young. They have to choose who they want to marry, and they have to choose when they want to do that. And it takes the power of education to do that.
Where, though, was that strength coming from, especially in the down times? Was there something that you said to yourself or something that you did to keep your spirits up?
There were so many times that I wanted to give up. But my mother had reminded me that by giving up, you are letting your own children go through this pathway, this generational pathway that my great-grandmother had gone through, my grandmother had gone through. So I didn't want to do that. And when I buried my dreams, I remember picking a rock from that area and say, this is going to be my safe-kept rock. It will always remind me why I'm getting this education.
And you kept that rock with you?
Oh, I kept it with me. So every time I want to give up, I'll just look at that rock and say, baby girl, you need to do something about the poverty in your own family. Yeah.
And your husband, we should say you also stood up eventually to the situation with your husband.
Yeah.
And he was deported.
Yeah.
Subsequent to that, he developed AIDS, contracted AIDS, and you nursed him.
Yeah,
he came back and you nursed him.
Yeah, I nursed him back to health, because I realized that I should not be the one demonizing anyone, including my husband, including my father, including every man that had abused me or abused anyone. All these people, they are products of their environment, because they lacked education. They didn't know better. And my mother used to say to me, you have to find forgiveness. What about if you were born a man? Maybe because of the environment that you grew up in, you may have ended up being the one abusing. So I got that earlier on. I got that. And my husband will always remain a hero to my children. So who am I to say he's a bad guy? No, I shouldn't be saying that.
He did pass away.
Yeah,
though
he
did
ended up
pass.
dying.
He did
Yeah.
pass away. But your life continued, obviously,
Yeah.
and you went on to get that PhD,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Trent.
Ah, my goodness. Exactly 20 years after I buried my dreams, I got my PhD.
And walking across that stage must have been an absolute highlight for you of your life.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I remember when as I was walking the stage to get that paper that now says PhD, I truly felt like a lawyer who had rested her case to my own family, to the men in my community, and to the world, and to say, if you give opportunities to those that are run down or torn down by the social ills of our time, they can achieve their dreams. Education is a human right, and if we give opportunities to girls and women, it is the best investment that we could ever give to this world, because women are smart and women can change the world.
And you went back and found that tin with those goals on it, didn't you? And
Yeah. So I went back and I ticked my achievement of my PhD, but then I realized, well, the 50th dream, how am I going to fulfill that 50th dream?
To help your community.
To help my community, because I realized the only way that I can improve the lives of my community is by promoting education, by building a school. My childhood school had been dilapidated, falling apart. Kids were learning, while seated on the floors, and the teachers had no desks. And so I said, I am going to make a difference. And I started selling T-shirts. I said, well, Joel actually said it is achievable. What does that mean? Tino Gona in my language. I designed my own T-shirt. I had it is achievable here, Tino Gona. And I said, I'm going to sell these T-shirts and I'm going to make millions and build a school in my community. Guess what? I didn't have a marketing degree. I only sold 20 T-shirts. I was so devastated. And I said, how am I going to do this? 20 T-shirts. I need to do something. I need to sell as many as I can. That's when I got the most memorable phone call of my life.
From Oprah Winfrey. She had read about you in Nicholas Kristof's book. How did he find out about you, by the way? Through Heifer International, that's right?
I think
Through
it was,
Joe.
yeah.
So Oprah read in the book about you.
Yeah.
And decided to
bring me to her show.
Become part of the story.
Yeah.
And in the end, as I mentioned in my introduction, she surprised you with $1.5 million donation, and along with Save the Children, your foundation has built how many schools?
So now we build the first school, and now our foundation is continuing to build 11 more schools. And at the first school we have a library, and these are rural schools. And we don't have any libraries in rural schools. So to see the kids being able to borrow books and read them at home, my goodness.
And are girls now being encouraged to go to school?
Oh yeah, we have more girls in school, and they are performing much better.
What a surprise. Huh?
It is.
So the foundation, as I understand it, is moving beyond now just the schools or the education component, really branching out into trying to work on some sustainable economic projects. And you brought with you an example of what your foundation will be doing with the people there.
So our board decided that we needed to rebrand our foundation. Initially it was Tino Gona Foundation, and now it's Tererai Trent International. And we have realized that, well, we have this funding and we are building schools. Then what happens after 20 years? So we had to build a sustainability component into our schools.
The jewelry that you're going to be selling. That's
So we have an artisan center where women in Zimbabwe, they take these rocks that are found in Zimbabwe, the leopard rock, and they create these beautiful necklace and bracelets that we are selling. For this one, it's called the Ubuntu spirit. Ubuntu, it's I am because we are, since we are, therefore I am. And these rocks are beautiful. They say when you wear them, you feel that calmness, and they promote empathy. And I think they truly resemble who we are as a people when you wear this. And we have that nice centerpiece there. It's inspired by the Zambezi River female god.
Let's take a look at that. You mean the centerpiece here?
Yes, the centerpiece, yes, yeah. So if your audience are interested, it would be really nice to buy this from our website, and so we can promote sustainability of these schools.
I want you to talk a little bit about the challenges that are still out there, because there are so many girls still like you were 30 years ago.
Yeah. We still have teenage pregnancies. We still have that, but mostly it's driven by poverty. So when we have sustainable projects, then we are ensuring that their parents can be part of this big movement, and they can improve their own income through our programs. And we hope that more girls will find value in remaining in school. And we still have issues of HIV and AIDS that we are dealing with. But when you don't have income, then it means you cannot access those medications that you need. So we realize that we cannot talk about education without talking about the community at large and how best they can come in and produce things so that they can have income and they are able to value the education while we are transforming, or they are transforming their own lives.
Malala in Pakistan won the
isn't
Nobel
that-
Prize for her work in trying to draw attention to the education of girls. And so this issue is taking off. You must have been, when you heard that, that
Oh,
must have been-
I was so tickled. I was so happy for her, and she's such a spirit. You know, the fact that this is only 17-year-old and she's getting that Nobel Prize, and she's giving it back to, it's a representation of all the girls and all the children that are out there in the world. What a beautiful thing for her to say, and she really makes me proud that the work that we are doing has meaning, because education is a human right.
Well, you have a beautiful thing that you say, and I heard you say it today at Boise State, especially to some of the young ladies that were in the audience who are young mothers. It's a little bit of a mantra, I guess I would say, you know, that you believe about yourself, and you wish and you hope that other girls in your same situation
Believe that way.
would believe. Can you
You know,
recapitulate that?
You know, I always say that, you know, when people see or hear my story, they always think, oh, she must have been a victim. And I always say, no, I am not a victim. I am part of the solution. I am a dreamer. I'm the master of my own destiny. I will never let the past define who I am. Neither will I allow the present challenges in my pathway define me. I defied the rules of my father. I defied the rules of my culture, and I will never keep silent about societal expectations that marginalize women and girls to be submissive at the expense of their dignity, and I will never be silent.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking this opportunity to talk with us about your dream and your hopes for other people as well.
Thank you for
Really
having me.
appreciate it.
Thank you for
You've been
having me.
listening to Dr. Tererai Trent, an education advocate originally from Zimbabwe. To learn more about Dr. Trent's foundation or to watch this program again, check out the Dialogue website. Just go to idahoptv.org and click on Dialogue. For Dialogue, I'm Marcia Franklin. Thanks for tuning in.
Presentation of Dialogue on Idaho Public Television is made possible through the generous support of the Laura Moore Cunningham Foundation, committed to fulfilling the Moore family's legacy of building the great state of Idaho. Check out our website, become a friend on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.